Who am I? If you think for a moment, who are you? You're gonna tell me that you are your name, but you're not. Your name is nothing but a label. Your name is nothing but a label that your parents put on you when you were born to help identify you within society. It's just an identification, but it says nothing. It's just a label like a price tag. Doof, your name is Shane, your name is ABC, my name is Daniel. Daniel doesn't describe me. Your name doesn't describe you. It says nothing about you. So then I ask the question again, who are you? Then I come to think, I look at my body. I'm thinking, is this who I am? Is this me? Am I this three-dimensional machine or vehicle, should I say, that just navigates and moves around this other three-dimensional world? Is this who I am? This chunk of flesh and this beating heart and blood vessels in this brain, is this who I am? And then I'm thinking, no, this can't be who I am. This says nothing about me. This doesn't identify me at all. It's not me. This is not us. I'm thinking, who are you, Daniel? But this is not who I am. This is going to be left behind in this world. It's going to rot and decay one day. And it's not eternal. It's stuck. The way you look, your physical appearance, does that mean anything to who you are? Do you choose friends based on how they look? Do you choose the people around you based on how they look? No, you don't. It says nothing about them. The way somebody looks means nothing. It's not who they are. Their physical body is probably the furthest thing away from who they are. Actually, I think their name is. Their name literally means nothing. Comes from nothing, it means nothing. So then I come to ask you the question again. Who are you? Are you your personality? The way you interact with people? I'm thinking, yeah, you choose people and you pull people closer in life based on how they interact with people. But then people can put on a face. People can show a side of themselves that they're not. You can think like, oh yeah, Mike, he's such a nice guy. That's who he is. He's a nice guy. He's a very humble, generous, kind, giving guy. And then when I think about that, like, yes, that very much describes somebody, but it doesn't define him. It does not define him. So then I ask you the question again. Who are you? Then I come to think, who the hell are you? Come on. Who are you? Who am I? Who am I? Then I'm thinking, are you your past? Are you all that you've ever done in this life? From the day you were born, you've been manifesting your whole life. And you've done this, you've done that, some great things, some not so good things, some things to be proud of, some shameful things. Is that who you are? Are you the footprint that you've left behind? Hey, I do think that's an interesting thought, and that does say a lot about somebody, what footprint you leave on this earth. What footprint are you going to leave behind? But now, it just can't be who you are. You are not your past. I could do a million different things, but that does not define me in the slightest. It might help identify me in society, it might make me become more well known in society, but you are most certainly not your past. What you have done in your life is your experience. It's just what we've gone through, but it does not define us in the slightest. So once again, I ask the question, who are you? And then it hits me. You know that little voice in your head? That voice in your head that is with you 24/7. That voice in your head that never leaves your side. That place that you live, that little tiny thing inside your head. That speck of consciousness, that godly creation that exists within your brain somewhere. Boom, now we are aware. We are conscious. Consciousness, this ability of us to live and be aware of the world around us, is the greatest gift ever. It is the most mystical thing. I still don't understand it. The aspect of this makes me think there's so much more to life. If this can exist, this consciousness that you are aware right now, if that can exist, anything can exist. But now I'm thinking, that voice in your head, that tiny piece of consciousness, that ability to be aware, that thinking thing within your head, that's who you are. That's who you are. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have an identity. It cannot be named. This thing, what I believe it's the presence of God. This thing is the most godly creation ever. This consciousness that exists within, that is who you are. It doesn't have a name. You cannot name it or identify somebody by it. No, you identify people with their names. We have social constructs to keep society together, but people are that voice in their head. That's who people are. Not that voice in their head, but that tiny speck of consciousness that has the ability to be aware. That is who we are. And the more you meet that tiny speck of consciousness in somebody else, the more the two of you come together and really get to dive into each other's consciousness. That's love. That's how bonds are formed. You don't form bonds on physical contact. When you get close to that, that is the true essence of life. This is where all life comes from. Your mind. Your entire life comes from your mind. Every day you are thinking, you are doing things. This is in charge. This is who you are. This tiny speck of awareness, that drives you. That does things for you. This is constantly operating. Because for me, this voice in my head is my best friend. But I know some people's voice in their head are not really their friend. And I just have to say that it's number one priority. It is number one priority to focus on making that tiny speck of consciousness, that piece of awareness within your head. It is the ultimate goal in life, to make that thing your best friend. You have to make this consciousness that exists within all of us your best friend. That is who you are. You are not your name. You are not your body. You are not your face. You are not the way you speak to people. You are not your thoughts either. You are mind.